You guys, what up? It's the kid, 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 it's the kid. Welcome here to the weekly, wonderful, and lovely Saturday hangout where, you know what, we hang out. We just talk about stuff, talk about the week's happening. So I think for this episode and for this segment, we're going to really talk about what has happened in the week so far. And we're going to be previewing two big games. First of all, it's the game of the weekend, Juve against Inter Milan, top of the table clash. Then, of course, it is the Manchester derby, City against United. Then we'll be doing a little bit of a preview of the Champions League games and maybe touch a bit on the Europa League. But before we get into those previews, let's talk about pretty much what has really happened this week, really. So the first thing that I would say is Liverpool are now 3 wins away. They're 3 wins away from clinching the title. But, and I think we'll obviously get to this when we talk about the Champions League previews, they're not looking fully legit yet. They're almost limping over the line. It doesn't seem as if everything is going all nice and gravy. So, but the way I view it is Liverpool haven't played well so far this season, but they've just been able to get it done. And the key men in Salah and Mane have been able to ride through. So as we figure out why Liverpool have not been able to play so well, let me come first to Red Devil Studio with this. What do you think? Because I know what I believe the reason is, but I want to know what you think the reason is. So what do you think is the reason why Liverpool have sort of now come out of form in the last few months or so? Well, rather last month or so.
It's weird because initially you could say, "Oh, is it fatigue?" But Jurgen Klopp, as we've seen, rested a lot of his players. There was the winter break, and obviously there was the whole hoo-ha of the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, where he fielded like youth squads. So from a sort of lack of rest point of view, there's not really that sort of excuse. So there's possibly, when it comes to injuries, so Henderson obviously not being there. Alisson's obviously out, although Alisson was there previously. Is anyone else out injured?
I think it's mainly like Henderson and Alisson, I believe.
Yeah, Alisson. Yeah, Lovren. I generally believe that Lovren was one of the reasons why Liverpool lost against Watford. He is such. I'm not sure how he's still at that club, to be honest. because he's just all over the place.
No. But in fairness, though, Van Dijk made a lot of those. A lot of key mistakes were actually made by Van Dijk. So it wasn't just Lovren.
He did. And I just think it's with Matip being fit. Matip, before he actually got injured, actually in some points actually played better than Van Dijk. So I'm not entirely sure why Jurgen Klopp went for Lovren over Matip. But anyway, I guess my viewpoint on it is possibly Henderson. I mean, it's weird that Liverpool would just capitulate over one player, and I don't think that's an excuse. The only reason why I could say maybe Henderson has much more influence than we maybe realize, maybe behind the scenes, is that I recall when Brendan Rodgers actually was competing with City for the title and they were ahead. There was a period of time when Liverpool when Henderson actually got injured during that title run. And it was in that period of time when Liverpool dropped the points. I think, the Gerrard slip, etc., that stuff, Henderson was actually injured. So for that period of time, Henderson was out. That was where Liverpool slipped points. So I'm not saying Henderson is the key to Liverpool, but there certainly seems to be something regarding his impact, whether that's behind the dressing room or not, that has an effect on this Liverpool team. That said, the reality is that City have to play United and Arsenal in the next 2 games. So if they drop any of those points anyway, I mean, regardless, it's over. So Liverpool don't need to win 1 game, and they've got the title in their bag. So that's what I think.
All right. So Erhan, what do you place it to? So what would you say is the kind of reason as to why we've seen Liverpool sort of falter slightly, only just slightly?
To be honest, I don't really see that big of a difference in terms of their performances. I feel like it's been constant. It's just a matter of, I think the other teams have they've caught up to them in terms of just taking their chances and just like defending them. So they've kind of just sussed them out. I don't think it's a sense that they're playing any worse. But definitely, Henderson's influence on the team, I think, is becoming more and more evident by the day.
Okay, so what is Henderson's? People still talk about Henderson. What is his influence specific? Is it just purely leadership, or is it just actually football stuff that he does?
It's a mix of both, to be honest. I've been watching the guy for how many years now. He's been in the Premier League for so long, and I think that he's like the prototype of a captain because you see him on the pitch. He's always ushering instructions to the players, even when Klopp isn't out there. He's like Klopp's he's like Klopp on the pitch essentially. He's embodying all of the manager's philosophies, and he's essentially ordering the guys to do their thing, like where to be, what kind of passes to look for, and also footballing wise, he's actually a very underrated playmaker. You see him from like deep positions. He can bring the ball out and bring like these guys like such as Firmino into play.
I mean, but would you brand him a creative player, playmaker? Because if you say he's a creative player, then you say, okay, yeah, they're missing the creativity of Henderson. So, what is it that if Henderson is there, this is what makes them win? Is it that he makes the front three better? Because those are the goal scorers, i.e. Mane and Salah. Those are the guys that have been winning the games.
Sorry to interrupt there, and just another point. Actually, if you look at like the Liverpool game today. Oh, sorry, go on. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. Go on. Or do you want me to finish? Or
should I carry on?
Yeah, I'll just quickly finish.
I just want to add a little bit, and then I'll let you talk. So I feel like Henderson. Henderson is the transition, I feel, between defense and attack. So I feel like he's able to pick out Firmino in those pockets of space where we see Firmino obviously like bringing in Mane and Salah into play. And I feel like once Henderson leaves the team, you can see that sort of balance is disrupted, where the front three kind of seem stifled and they're trying to like force the chances, trying to come deeper to receive the ball. And as a result, you can see that without Henderson being there, it's like they kind of lose that link between the center of the pitch and the final third. So go on, bro.
Red will go.
All I was just going to say, just to supplement your point, because you make a very, very good point, Erhan. It was just that I watched just briefly bits of the Liverpool Bournemouth game today, and Milner, obviously, who's experienced, who did a good clearance. Like 5 minutes before the end of the game, I think Liverpool have a free kick, and Mane basically wants to sort of whip it in. He wants to deliver it into the box, something. And Milner basically tells him, brings him back, like, no, what the hell are you doing? Don't do that. Yeah. Like, put it in there. Let's keep it in the corner. Let's just sort of keep things just sort of tight. Let's not do that so that with that Bournemouth win the ball and potentially go and counter-attack and score. Yeah. So I think it's also, as you were saying, it's some of these sort of small things, these decision makings that possibly Henderson gives to this Liverpool side where he says, no, don't do that, do this instead. And that actually ultimately makes a big difference, So that was just my full point.
Margins are the difference in football, right? Like small things make a big difference.
Exactly.
Okay, so Julian, what about you? Liverpool, what do you put the issue being with regards to how Liverpool have sort of faltered?
I think in terms of tactics, I believe Liverpool have started to become found out. And I honestly believe like a lot of Premier League teams have learned from what Atletico have done to them. In the sense that all the wingers have to provide defensive stability, and that seems to be working against the Liverpool wingers in Salah and Mane. And because they have less freedom now, I think that's why Liverpool have been not scoring that many goals. And at the same time, I believe like the midfield dynamic needs to be changed up a bit because I believe Fabinho hasn't been the Fabinho we've known since his injury. So I think there needs to be some adjustments in midfield. Maybe give a Navigator or an Oxlade-Chamberlain a run in the team. And another thing is what I'm also a bit confused about is I'm pretty sure like Liverpool fans told me that Matip was one of their best defenders or best performing defenders. I think he's fully fit right now.
But Gomez has been playing Matip has been very good, but just Gomez has been doing really well. So Gomez has hit form, so it's like it's a tough choice.
I don't think as of recently Gomez has been up to standard, I believe. And I think there just needs to be changes in this Liverpool team. And basically, with the setup they have right now, they're just putting themselves in danger by not adapting their tactics, basically.
Okay. Boxing guy, Liverpool. What do you think have been the cause of their bad form and them not playing well or performing well?
I think the reason they're being underperforming is because of Firmino's lack of form. In this past 3 games, Firmino hasn't been playing well.
That's the
And
key. That
also,
is the key.
yeah, and also Fabinho's been a little bit rusty. I don't think that he's fully recovered from his injury. So yeah, like people need to lay low on the Henderson being out. I mean, if Firmino played in his A game in these last 3 games, I don't think Liverpool would have struggled as they did. So yeah, Henderson is key, but he isn't the main reason to why Liverpool have been performing badly in these past 3 games.
Okay. So I don't want to talk about this, but I can't keep ignoring this. Now, I warned Uncle Mo. I warned him. I said, don't take the job. I picked up the phone and I said, Uncle Mo, I love you. You're my idol. You're my hero. You're one of the GOATs. This isn't going to work. You're not going to win a trophy with Tottenham. This is a different kind of project. It's not going to happen. And yes, there have been injuries, very key injuries, but this is bad. This is real bad because you could have a situation where, obviously, I don't want to talk about the Champions League yet. We'll leave that till later on. But just in connection with this topic, you'd have a situation where by Tuesday evening, Tottenham have been out of the FA Cup, out of the Champions League, and will probably be out of contention of top 4.
Yeah.
Because I just don't, these guys can't buy a win. So my thing here is this, because I already put out a video talking about Uncle Mo, and I said, you know what? Maybe let me just put out, because I don't want to. I thought it's unfair to convict a dude and say, okay, yes, he has done, because that's the reactionary thing. But I can't ignore the results. I can't ignore the facts. The facts that these guys are taking L's. These guys are playing horribly. Yes, they have injuries, but they're playing horrendous football where there's no clue as to what is happening. So let me come first to Erhan with this, man. Let me come first to Erhan with this as the sports guy. So, yep. Erhan, if you're Levy right now, what do you do? Do you say this is a process? Let's ride this out, wait until the summer, recoup, and then I will then judge Mourinho based on the next season? Or are you like, nah, I've seen enough. Even if I pump money, this was a bad call, and I take the blame. Mourinho, sorry, thank you, but we'll have to pack your bags in the summer. And actually, which is what I suggested, get a Marcelino or a Nagelsmann, an attacking offensive coach, and somebody that has a dramatically different philosophy from both Pochettino and Mourinho. Yeah. What do you do?
First off, HH, I remember your video where you assured everyone that Uncle Mo wasn't coming to Tottenham, but I think you had the wrong number. I don't think you were calling Jose Mourinho. I think you were calling someone like Jose.
No. He lied. No, it was the right number, but I think Mourinho just lied to me. So yeah, because
genuinely, I feel like him coming to Tottenham has been one of the biggest poisons to ever grace our club, to be honest. Because genuinely, it's come to a stage where today we played Burnley, right, and we got a 1-1 draw, and I'm actually happy drawing to Burnley away from home. I actually value that as a good point. That's how bad it's become, because I just assumed we would lose the game. And also, we were playing against Burnley, but it looked like we were actually Burnley, because we were doing more long balls than them. We were taking more set pieces. We were just putting more crosses into the box. It's just, I don't really see the logic in this appointment, to be honest. It's like he's like a B-Tech version of Pochettino, in my opinion. His tactics are in the modern era of football, this guy has done nothing noteworthy. His tactics have declined so much. He keeps sticking to his old, old-fashioned ways. It's not working. Like you can't play such a defensive game anymore. Teams know how to break you down. You brought this style of football 20 years ago. The teams have had so much time to adapt and adjust to it. So unless he's gonna innovate, I don't see any reason why we should keep this guy, because as far as I'm concerned, under him Tottenham will only go one place, and that's backwards. He's not a long-term manager, is he? He's known for short-term success. If you give him the tools, he can work with them and he can win you a couple of trophies. But we don't even have the tools right now. It's like we need to go through another rebuild phase. And if we want to rebuild, there's no way we can keep Mourinho as a manager, in my opinion. So I would say, if I was Levy, just accept you were wrong, quit while you were ahead, man. Just cut the ties short. Leave him at the end of the season, pay him however much he wants, because genuinely, if we keep him, I think it will get worse and worse, and we might slip into becoming a mid-table side.
Okay, then. So if you decide to sack the GOAT, then who do you? Yes, I said it. Yes, the GOAT. Yes, I didn't stutter. Who do you then hire in the summer to replace him?
Personally, I would stick to some of the Premier League managers that are currently managing. So the guys at clubs like Wolves. So obviously Nuno, great tactician, actually understands modern football as well, unlike a certain other Portuguese manager. As crazy as it sounds, Chris Wilder. Look what he's doing with absolute bums at Sheffield United. I don't even know half of these players like who they are, and yet he's managed to get them above us. And also, despite them, actually, I brought Eddie Howe, because obviously they've had the struggles this season, but he's kept them up for the last 5 years. These guys didn't even sniff the Premier League before him, so he's shown that he can work with minimal amounts of investment and produce like great results. So I think we need someone in that kind of ilk, which is more offensive minded, not this bum Mourinho, this fraud.
Easy, okay, chill, okay, thank you. You have to be a good man, thank you.
Yeah,
all right. Red Devil Studio then. Mourinho. So do you think he deserves? Because obviously, look, that's a Tottenham fan speaking. Do you think he deserves a summer based on 2 critical injuries, both Harry Kane and Son, and it's unfair to judge him now, or do you think it is fair to judge him now, and he should be given his matching orders in the summer?
Yeah, it's fair to judge him now because what Mourinho's doing at Spurs.
What do you mean by it's fair to? No.
It's fair because
that was a rhetorical question.
Give him a summer.
Because
Mom was shut the hell. The devil. That was a rhetorical question. The answer you were supposed to give is no. It's not fair to judge him now. That was the answer I was looking for.
Because nothing that I've seen from Mourinho is that Mourinho was at Manchester United for 2 and a bit years. Nothing.
He won how many trophies? How many trophies did he win?
He won a Europa League and a Carabao Cup. Yeah, okay.
He won an charity shield. Don't forget a charity shield.
The treble for the treble shield. The point.
Thank you.
Ern's point was regarding the style of play. Of Spurs. Nothing that I've seen from Mourinho at Spurs surprised me because that is basically what he played at Manchester United. United fans, you've gone from. Yes, Pochettino had his issues, but Pochettino played a style of football that Spurs fans seem to like anyway. I'll bet they were losing quite a bit. You were not going to get a nice brand of football hiring Mourinho. I knew that. I'm sure we all knew that. It wasn't a surprise. So the way they set up is going to Burnley away and being very, very defensive. He was like their Manchester United. So it doesn't surprise me. The issue is that with all the other teams around, the thing is this season, because all teams around the top 4, top 3 have been so bad and so inconsistent. You'd have thought that Mourinho might have been able to take advantage of that. Yes, I know.
So you're not going to address the 2 injuries.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
2 of his main attackers are injured. Okay, look, I'm not looking at excuses. I'm just trying to be objective. How many other people have to deal with their 2 main strikers being effed up?
Okay. I think the only thing you could say from that is one, they obviously had they had a transfer window. They should have obviously prioritized. We somehow managed to get Igalo in for Manchester United, and he's scoring G's. So if that was an issue, they should have prioritized that in January and gone out to get it forward, knowing full well because Harry Kane had been injured for goodness knows how long. So it wasn't like he just became injured. He'd been injured for I think a good 2 months or so back. They didn't make it a priority, goodness knows why. So I don't know. But all I'm trying to say, HH, is that if Spurs, essentially, even if Harry Kane comes back, even if Son comes back, the style of football that Mourinho is going to play is not going to change. So Spurs fans have to realize if they want this style of football, yes, he may potentially be successful. And that's a big if because I think we play Spurs next week, and I think we're going to go to Spurs and we're going to beat them. I think United will comfortably beat Spurs. Pogba should actually be back for that game, which will be very interesting, very subplot between Pogba against Mourinho and what have you. But for me, I'm not a Spurs fan, but for me, if Spurs fans are happy with that style of football, okay, with a possibility of getting trophies, then give him a summer. But I don't think many Spurs fans and many United fans are happy with that style of football. So for me, he goes in the summer.
Harsh and wrong. Momo, can you defend them?
Yeah, listen, I told you about this.
Easy. Don't. I said, look, let's just relax.
No, listen.
Let me. I asked the questions here. It's my platform. So Momo, I want you to defend Uncle Mo. Since
Yeah,
we've had
listen.
two negative people, basically you have to say positive things now. Go.
I said this was a bad fit from the start. Your Uncle Moo is a winner. He's a winner. He's a serial winner. And Spurs, they're HQ bottles. You know what I'm saying? Bottle companies, the HQ is at Tottenham Hotspur. You know, they don't win anything. They're loser club, loser mentality. Their best manager, Poch, won nothing in the 5 years. He's been their nothing club. And one thing had to give. Either Mourinho, who likes to win, or Spurs, who likes to lose. One had to give. The thing is, Mourinho is going to become a loser the minute he went to Spurs because they're a loser club. So that's what was going to happen. Like, he should have gone to PSG, like you said. I don't know why he went to Spurs. They're not going anywhere. It's just they've got no players, and the reason why he plays defensive is because he can't trust the defense to play attacking football. He can't do it. And so the minute, like the same thing at United, they had Smalling and Jones in their centre. Like, how is he going to trust Smalling and Jones at the back and try and play expansive football? He's not going to do that. He's going to sit back. He's going to be like, I don't trust you guys at the back, so I'm going to have to play defensive football because when he was at Chelsea in his first season, when he was at Real Madrid, when he was at Inter, he could trust his defense. His defense was on lockdown without having to have two DMs there because he knew, I trust Chiellini. I trust.
You're blaming the brick to defense.
Absolutely. Like, and you know what? The one thing I love about this is the thing that Arsene Wenger, my manager, didn't have. Mourinho is a sore loser. He's very petty, and I'm like that too. The guy, the minute he doesn't have things going his way, he's going to be like, right, we're not, everyone's going to sit back. I don't have the tools. He likes everything to be perfect. So if he's got the players, then you're going to really see him win. But if he doesn't, he's going to have to compensate it. And then he's going to become all whiny because he doesn't get the support that he needs in the summer like he didn't at Manchester United. Like, they got Harry Maguire a season after when he wanted him a season before. So naturally, he's going to become, like, I get it. That's why I get Mourinho. And I think he should have never come to Spurs because they're never going to give him the investment he needs to succeed. And so I think he should have gone to PSG. Spurs, they're irrelevant. They're going to miss out on Champions League. They're going to go back to being a mid-table club. Arteta's going to, shut them up when we go to their stadium. Yeah, that's what I've got to say.
Okay, let me just take this super chat real quick and then I'll give it. So from True Sports Fan Opinion, thank you for the super chats. There are no leaders in Spurs, which Uncle Moon needs. That's true. There are no leaders because Dele Alli is a bomb. But I think beyond that, the players aren't there. Mr. True Sports Fan. PSG was the right fit. It really was the right fit. Yes, you can buy players and get new players, but the core has to coincide with what you have. And the very core of Tottenham just did not coincide with what Mourinho wanted. Like, if Mourinho was to head to, let's say, like a Juventus. See, Juventus would be a perfect team for Mourinho. Perfect, because the core of that team coincided. So all you have to do is just add a little bit here, a little bit here, but they have a defensive steel. So that's him, and strong character and experience and men. But you don't have that at Tottenham. Hence why the very core of it just ain't that flipping thing. So that's just the major issue. Natsa, Uncle Moo, man, should he be given more love? Why there's so many haters, man?
He should definitely not be given more love. Cause
why not? Why not? Do you know him? Based on
just compare it to Arsenal. They're going Arteta. They got him in the same time, same position, and the way he's gotten these players to play compared to Mourinho is a big difference. Arteta came in, he trusted his players, he's trusted the Saka and the left back. He hasn't complained. He hasn't had a left back to play down. He hasn't complained. He put Saka there. He hasn't complained about David Luiz bad defense.
We have a Batman.
Wait.
They don't have Harry Kane.
Are you trying to trying to compare Arteta to Mourinho? How many UCLs does Arteta have?
I don't give a shit. I'm talking about right now, bro. I'm talking about right now. Arteta has shown that he's more capable to adapt to situations than Mourinho in the last 5 years. I'm gonna say
sure.
Yeah, he's adapted. He's adapted to what he has got, and then I just don't understand what Mourinho. He's complaining about Ndombele. Ndombele is his first season down here. First seasons, we know what happens. Some players can adapt very quickly. Some players don't. And then
he's gassed out after 8 minutes. He's gassed after 8 minutes.
I know, but you just don't call out your plays. It has happened before at Chelsea. It's happened before at United when he called up Pogba and he got sacked. The same thing happens. A reoccurrence until he gets sacked. So Mourinho has to change his mindset. It's always the same thing. In the beginning of the season, he says, my players are very good. I like these players. The next moment, he's complaining about his players. That doesn't work in the modern football. So he has to just look at himself and try to change it. Look at Klopp, look at Pep, what they do. They never speak out against the players in public. They never do that. But Mourinho keeps on doing it, and the same thing will happen again. He will get sacked eventually.
Okay. Boxing guy. Defend Mourinho.
I think that Spurs and Uncle
What?
Mo
You
are a bad fit.
Mike, it's F to pump. Sorry, let me come to Mohammed. Mr. Mohammed.
Should have.
Yo, I think it's always easy for the media and the fans to blame the manager because they always want to scapegoat someone that's like an easy target to blame. And I think that's what's happening to Mourinho right now. The players, they just aren't up to standard, man. He has bad players, bad defenders. Kane and Son, like you have your two best players are injured. What do you expect? You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, if you give him the summer, he can get the players that work well within his system, and things can change. Because we also Man United, man. People were blaming him for what happened at Man United. He left. What happened? They played well with Oli for like 5 games, and then it's even worse than it was.
Yep,
Mourinho.
there you go.
So it shows the problem was with the players. Like, I'm not saying he's a perfect manager, but the problem was with the players. And it's the same thing at Tottenham, man. And you look at they have some good players. Like, I'm a big fan of Lo Celso. I'm a big fan of like Lucas Moura, like he's good. Steven Bergwijn, he's good. Give him, like, when Kane and Son come back, he makes a couple good signings. Things can turn around quick. And maybe he wasn't the best choice for Tottenham. Like, I don't know why no one went for like someone like Marcelino, who's like a great coach. I don't know why no one looks at him. But like, Mourinho wasn't the worst option either. He was one of the best managers that were available. So yeah, I think
but the thing about is that okay, you may say it was one of the best managers available, but was he the right fit?
I think
was he the right fit?
I think he is. I just think people they look at the short term in football. Like, they don't give managers time. He came into a Tottenham that were already bad this season. We're doing awful with Pochettino. And you know, Tottenham fans, like, they want to play good football. Pochettino was playing like okay football, like it was entertaining football for like how long? What did that get them? Not a single trophy. So I think trophies are more important than playing attractive football. Like, so yeah, I think Mourinho is a good fit. Just needs time.
But have hope. Can I say this? You know what? Someone used to say it. I don't think no one's saying this enough. Daniel Levy took the cheap option again. He had to actually change his squad. He had to, because you remember there was 2 summer windows. They didn't buy anybody. If you remember, They didn't buy a single player. He had to change. He had to invest in the squad, but he refused to spend money. And now he's reaping he's reaping the downfalls of that, because he had a squad that was unmotivated, that needs to be replenished, and he took the cheap option of sacking a manager and replacing him. But the new manager is still going to have the same issues of the squad is not good enough. They need to be changed. So he took the cheap option of getting rid of the manager instead of having to change the players.
Okay. Let me just take this quick super chat here, and then I'll come to Julian. So from Rodney Slango, thank you for the super chat. He says, if he's the GOAT, which he is, manager, then why can't he manage? Rodney, even the greatest of GOATs can't do anything when the powers that be are against him. There are evil forces working against him. So even if you're a GOAT and the evil forces working against it, there's only so much you can do. Rodney, believe in the GOAT. Believe in the GOAT. He is still the GOAT, Rodney. Don't ever question His Highness Mourinho. Julian, Mourinho, should he be defended? Are people hating on him?
I see both sides to the story, to be honest. Although the one, what Momo said was a very good point. I feel like Mourinho knew what he was getting himself into, because Daniel Levy will not back him, like you can tell. And sure, they bought 2 players in January, but all in all, like the defenders they have at the moment are not good enough. So what you're doing is you're hiring a defensive manager with no defense. So that just puts Spurs in a lose-lose situation. And the issue here is I still believe Mourinho deserves one more window to get the players he wants, because the current squad he has is simply not good enough. And yes, the injuries have been majorly impactful in the way he plays, the style of football he wants. Because you could see when Son was still playing, they were playing. They were ultra defensive side. They tried to attack, but because you take away those two players in Son and Harry Kane, he has little to no options. So the blame certainly should be going to Levy as well for not backing him. You're essentially losing out on Piontek to a German club that's barely hanging in mid-table, and that's just poor decision making from the higher ups in Spurs, and that also needs to be addressed a little bit more. But for me, I agree that Mourinho should have chosen a better job, because I feel like
yes, it should have been the job he chose.
Yes, I believe in Sky he said he wanted to join a club where he would have a good working relationship with the board and have a harmonious environment within the club. But Spurs shouldn't be the answer to that. So I understand both views on why Mourinho should be taking the blame, but ultimately you have to look higher up where ultimately the problem is.
Can I just say just one quick thing? This is the same Spurs team that, like, just last season got to a Champions League final.
They fluked it.
Don't do that. Who was a key member of that run?
Yeah,
Son.
Lucas Son.
Without Son, they don't sniff that final. So don't do that.
I agree, but everyone seems to be saying that, like, Spurs, the way people are almost talking as if Spurs' team is absolutely completely hopeless.
They lost 13 times last season. They lost 13 times last.
Yeah,
and you've drawn 15 times this season.
Even okay, Erhan, come on, that was a fluke. Yes, they deserved it, but really, that was that was half a fluke of how they got that final. No, because what I hate is people say now, wait a minute, Tottenham reached the Champions League final. They're now an elite team.
No.
Wait. FC, so even when FC Porto reached the final back in 2003, they weren't seen as an elite team. Just like, oh wow, they made it to the final and they won it. But even after they won it, they weren't seen as an elite team. So don't do that. Come on, bro.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, nah. That's the thing. All right.
But Poch managed. But it clearly, what we can see down here, the Mourinho cannot manage.
Wait, what? Hello?
Yeah, what is that you, Erhan, talking?
Sorry?
Oh, sure. No, I thought you were saying something. Okay, let's now this is just open warfare right now. So I'm not gonna be like one by one, so anybody can pop in and whatever. I'm just gonna say this right now. Dude's a flop.
Yeah.
Dude is a flop. Barcelona got robbed. 100%. If I'm Barcelona, I will advise them to get the best lawyer. Well, I mean, I already have my own trial that I've got to sort out. But I'd advise Barcelona to get the best lawyer and prosecute both Liverpool and Atletico Madrid. They got robbed. Atletico and Liverpool finessed Barcelona. How are you a whole football club and you got finessed twice? What's it good? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, you can't fool a new dog. I mean, whatever the heck it is. These dudes got lubricated twice.
3 times. Dembele is injured.
Griezmann is a flop. And I double dare one of you people to defend Griezmann and say that Griezmann should. So no, please. Is anybody going to defend me? I just want to know.
Okay, can I defend him in a slight?
Oh, you.
No, wait.
Okay. What? How?
I just want to say, he doesn't work with Messi in the team. The role that Messi plays and the system that Barcelona want to stick to, it will never get the best out of Griezmann's action.
But I thought Griezmann is world class. That's what I got told. If you're world class, you should figure it out.
No. He's only world class in a certain position. If you take it, he's not a world class player. He's a world class in a certain position.
So so he's a system merchant. Is that way?
Yeah. 100. Like same way Firmino is a system merchant. You put Firmino in other teams. He's not a plug and play type of player. He's a system merchant, just like Firmino. So he's a support striker. He has to play with someone ahead of him. He has to play someone he can do 1 and 2s like he does with Giroud in the national France team. He's not going to do any. He's not going to make direct runs into the box, waiting for Messi cutbacks or through balls. Or that's not his thing.
Wait, moment. Can I just address something?
Yeah.
So people in the live chat, I'm seeing a narrative pull through. you have to be brainless class A bricks to say that Zad is a bigger flop than this loser Griezmann.
No, Hazard's
Because
just
wait,
injured.
no. Let me land. No, because
Hazard's
see,
turned
no.
the
I'll defend my boy. I'm going to defend my boy. You losers, you bunch of losers who you're so sad. You've got nothing better to do with your life than try to insult a man who is injured and could miss the Euros. Zad at least contributed to Real Madrid. Griezmann has been garbage. All Griezmann has done was score from 1 yard out against Napoli in Naples. That's it. So you people saying that Zad is a bigger flop than Griezmann, that's just you hating. Griezmann is the biggest flop this season. Based on how much he was bought for and how little he's contributed. A flipping fetus called Ansu Fati is better than this flipping dude. So yeah, Momo, carry on, man.
But I think it's a bit unfair to call Griezmann a flop because he's not meant to succeed in this team. It's not set up for him to succeed in this team.
Wait. What do you mean by it's unfair? No. Either you succeed or you're a flop.
But
why are you adding a caveat?
No, because we always have to understand football's not that simple. Not everyone can play in any team and any system. These are very rare type of footballers. Griezmann has got certain attributes you can make the use of, and if you don't, he's going to be a nothing player. He's going to be just another regular bum that you only need to spend 10 mil because his role is a support striker. He's not meant to be doing left wing, right wing work, tracking. That's not his game. So if you Barcelona, I'm blaming Barcelona more than I blame Griezmann. Like, you should have seen that. Why did you buy him? If you know you have Messi in your team, you're not going to be playing two up top with a support striker. Why buy him? I understand they needed a superstar to come in for their fan base to say, oh, listen, we got someone in the summer, we can present him. Listen, it's not like we did nothing. So I understand it was more actually of a business transaction deal more than a footballing decision. But still, it's 120 mil whatever they paid for him down the drain. Yeah. Because until Messi leaves or until they play the system that suits him, that's wasted money. Blow it into there because you're not going to get that back.
I agree.
So, and anyone else have a take on this brick?
I 100% agree with what Momo said, and a lot of this actually does come at the feet of Barcelona Football Club. To be honest, for some reason, I feel like Barcelona are almost acting like early Galactico Fiorentino Perez, buying all these players, but not really putting them in a particular system, and it just seems to just be okay. Let's get all these players that seem to be doing very well, and then somehow they'll fit together around Messi, and let's prepare for when Messi leaves. It's just nonsense. And even more concerning for me is that I don't know when, aside from Ansu Fati came through, I don't know how many other Barcelona players are actually coming through their academy to actually supplement some of the roles that they need, which is fine as well.
It went from La Masia to La Briquia, bro. It's not La Briquia.
It's at least with Real Madrid, you're seeing some of those potential players there, but Barcelona. But anyway, about Griezmann, I completely agree with the system thing because even at Atletico Madrid, he always had that striker playing ahead of him, and that is not the system that he's playing at Barcelona. The only thing I would say,
real quick though.
Yeah.
How can I respect you as a player if it's everything has to be proper? I need my striker, I need my winger, I need this for you to succeed. If you're amazing, because fair enough, Red Devil, I get it. If you're in the right system, that is when you play at your best. But are you telling us if you're not in the right system, you're garbage? Because he's been garbage.
Well, this is the thing. And just to finish my point, I don't actually give him the respect because if you look at how he left Atletico Madrid, knowing full well what he was going into, it was a bit of a mess. He was trying to force a move out, etc. Knowing where he was going to play, the system he was going to play, what was going to. I don't actually have that much empathy for Griezmann, frankly. So I don't even give him that respect in that sense because he had a system at Atletico Madrid that worked for him, and the team was almost built somewhat around him. He threw that away and decided to go and play in a Barcelona side where he was, as you said, going to be a side chick to Messi in a system that didn't really work. And he knew that, in my opinion. So, frankly, he's almost getting to a certain extent what he deserves. I'm sure all will be forgotten if he has a good Euros with the French team. But I agree, he's been a massive flop. And I don't see what's going to happen for Griezmann really. Like it's a massive letdown for the Barca.
All right, let me just hit this super chat real here. So Eddie Miranda, what up, baby? Said Zad is one of the. So okay, so Eddie Miranda, let me respond to this. First of all, Eddie Miranda, you're talking to a European Cup winner. That's the first thing. So show some respect. You're also talking to a guy who has led teams to Premier League trophies and an FA Cup,
Europa League,
especially an FA Cup final as well. And also, can I land? Thank you. Eber Miranda. Also, what you need to realize is you need to stop being a hater. It's 2020. Start getting real. Don't be jealous and envious of a guy who is extremely talented. Just don't be jealous. So you say one of the worst signings of Madrid. So Zad isn't a worse signing than Mariano, who all he's done was score the second goal.
Mariano scored
not a worse signing than
Mariano
Flipping Cannavaro. Kaka was trash. Okay, so what the hell did Kaka do? So Eber Miranda, let me just say this right now. Don't hate on your boy. And yes, I said it in my chest, Zad over Kaka. Yes, Kaka, one of the most overrated players of all time. 100%. Yes, I'm taking Zad over Kaka all day, every day. Anybody else wants to speak on this Griezmann topic?
I do. HH.
Nippon, go for it, baby. Nippon, go for it.
Yeah, he is a flop. I mean, like one of the previous YouTubers said, he only looked good at Atletico because he had that striker in front of him. Same way with France. He has either Giroud or Ben Yedder or even in some cases Lacazette playing in front of him.
Ben Yedder
plays for France. So yeah, and because he has Giroud or Ben Yedder playing in front of him for France, in Atletico he had Costa or Morata. So yeah, I do think he's a flop.
But Nippon, let me ask you, what does it tell you about the kind of player he is, where he can only function if he has a striker in front of him? That's if he doesn't have a striker in front of him, he's useless. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. That's what I've witnessed in all the videos I've seen of him at Barcelona versus all the videos at him at Atletico. And it's what I've heard from lots of Barcelona fans as well. I've even one Barcelona fan I spoke to said he'd much rather have Harry Kane. He's not, and no, he's not. He's not an English Barcelona fan. He's from Nigeria, just like you.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, but that is actually quite Harry. Yeah. Well, bro, at least Harry Kane can actually score goals though.
Let me speak on Griezmann.
What is it?
Let me speak on Griezmann.
Natsa, go for it, man. And if you defend, I double dare you to defend this dude, man. But go for it.
I've been saying since 2014 that Griezmann was an overrated player. I've always been saying that, but I can't blame him.
Thank you.
I can't blame him in this instance because the Barca board have been buying players just for the sake of it, just for the sake of the name, like Coutinho. And you could take the formula of how City do it. They buy players in around, I don't know, 60 million, 50 million, and make a whole team. But Barcelona seem to want to buy these, I don't know, Galactico type players, just as if Griezmann was even a Galactico player for 100 million. Are they mad? And Bartomeu has to leave. I don't know why that guy is still down there, but the main reason is that guy that's sitting down there and making those decisions because it's absolutely horrendous. But Griezmann, I've been always saying this, Griezmann is so one-dimensional. He can't do more than holding the ball and then playing it for his striker. He can't do more than that. He's very one-dimensional, and he's not working clearly because he hasn't got a striker right now. Messi's roaming around, and he's left isolated. So I kind of feel sorry for him, but I don't feel sorry for him because he actually overrates himself and actually thinks he's a good player, and that's all I've got to say.
Okay, so and anyone else wants to touch this Griezmann topic before we move on? All right.
He's a clown, man.
What?
He's a clown. No need to talk about him.
Yeah. Look, the guy's a bomb. So now let me speak on the, and I want to come to Julian on this now. So I find this a very sick and sad joke. Whenever Hazard's name is mentioned, and I know people do it because it's me. It's me. They do it because people don't really believe this. So just to put it clear here, Torgan Hazard is the younger brother of Eden Hazard, and Torgan Hazard plays like the younger brother of Eden Hazard. Torgan Hazard doesn't deserve the name Zad. The name Zad is a very special name. It's saved for tier 1 players like your boy Zad, one of the best players in the world. But I want to come to Julian with this. Torgan Hazard, because I don't know whether you guys saw the game today. He scored a absolutely incredible goal. Superb. Absolutely a thing of flipping beauty. The dribble and the finish, insane. So, but my thing, because whenever I look at him, I'm like, could he be an amazing player? Could he be a really good player? Will he ever become something? So, Julian, in your view, do you think a Torgan Hazard, what do you think his upside is? Do you think he could be as good as his brother? Just below his brother? What do you think his potential is if he puts in the work?
He's a very good winger. He offers a lot he offers a lot to the team. He has work rate in him, and at certain times he can be very unselfish, which is a player that's very good to have. However, like I get he had a great game today, but my one criticism of Hazard is I can't really remember a big game where he showed up actually, because certainly like the only good game against a top side this season, or out of any game he's had in his career, this was the only game. That's the underlying problem we have with Hazard.
So I don't think he has the character or the mentality to really raise his game for a big or a difficult game. So he sort of like coasts in with the team rather than saying, you know what, give me the ball, let me stand out.
Gladbach, when he was at Gladbach last season, or his final season at Gladbach, they tried to make him the main man, but the problem was the consistency. So he would provide those numbers and output for about 5 games, but then he'll go missing for 5 games. So it's kind of like it's kind of a huge risk to make him your main man. So I think he's certainly a good player, and his potential is still remain to be seen. However, like I would certainly want to give him more time to prove himself in the bigger stages, because like if you give me 3 options to play the left wing spot for Dortmund, you have Julian Brandt, you have Royce and Hazard. I would still put Royce and Brandt ahead of Hazard for that left wing.
Yeah, same.
So that's the work Thorgan Hazard has to put in order for him to become to reach the upper echelons of footballers. But certainly, as a footballer, he looks very promising. He's a good player.
So anybody wants to talk briefly about Torgan Hazard, about how good they think he can do?
He's better
or does anybody think that's bullcrap that he's as good as your boy Zad?
I don't know. He can't be as good as his brother. I've watched him play a lot of times. He hasn't got those capabilities that his brother has. Although I criticize Hazard, but before a long time ago, Hazard was one of my Eden Hazard anyway. He was one of my favorite players until he became fat and has done nothing these past 2 years.
Wait, what? Say again? I didn't. What the hell? What?
You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it, HH.
No.
You don't want to hear it. Yeah, but I can't compare Thorgan Hazard, because I've watched how Thorgan Hazard before he was at Dortmund. By the way, he's 26 years old and he hasn't played for a big club yet. You have to keep that in mind. Okay, Dortmund a big club, but not to that extent. Not to that extent of like teams that are competing for the Champions League every year. But I wouldn't compare him to Eden Hazard. No.
Okay. Look, man. Look, man. We've got 2 big games tomorrow. Let's ride with the first one. Juve Inter now. Bro, this is going to be weird. Okay, this is going to be weird. Behind closed doors, odd. Really, really odd. But it is what it is. It is what it is, man. So let me just give my thoughts on this. I don't know how much the no crowd will affect Juventus, but I'm going to try and focus on the football. And Inter Milan still feel that they have a chance because they're still within it mathematically for sure. But I think there will be a greater sense of urgency for Juventus, and Juve will want to respond. So it's going to be, because I want to just know how everybody's feeling with the empty stadium and who feels much more comfortable, especially the first 10, 15 minutes, although things can change. But despite that, I just say Juve will edge them out. 2-1, 1-0, I'm going to stick with the 1-0. So I say Juve win this 1-0. So Redo's studio, what are you saying for Juve Inter?
It's a tough one. It's like you said, it's going to be quite strange behind obviously closed doors, and it'll be really interesting to see what going on with Italian football in general. So because if this coronavirus thing, gets worse, then I'm sure this is going to impact, for example, European games, CL games, etc. So I think this is certainly one to watch from a future perspective. So, and I just hope everyone that gets involved is well and is okay. So I'll just say that there. Regarding the actual game, it's a big one. I'm still, for some reason, even though I think that Juventus should win this, they should win this game. A part of me just still remembers what happened with Lyon. I don't know why I can't shake that Lyon draw ahead. Where it should have been fairly straightforward for Sarri to get the win over Lyon, and somehow tactically he just didn't get that right. I think that I do feel that Conte, in my opinion, I think for me he's a tactically better manager than Sarri, even though the league position obviously says otherwise, in my opinion. Bearing in mind that Juventus have better players overall. Yes, Conte's been backed, of course, yes, but Juventus have better players overall, and yet with better players overall, he's not that far from Conte. So I probably do give Juventus the win but if I'm honest, I would not be surprised if Conte was able to do a masterclass here and beat Sarri. And if that is the case, then I think serious questions have to be asked about Sarri's future at Juventus in the summer.
No. If they don't defend the Serie A and they don't win the Champions League, he's sacked. But if they lose to Inter Milan and they get knocked out by Lyon, he'll get sacked. But that's not going to happen, though. So
hopefully,
that's what happened. Julian, Juve Inter.
It's definitely a tight game because Inter, well, not Inter, but both teams don't come into this game in the best of form. But I believe when Juventus are chasing, they shift it up a gear and play much better, rather than when they're leading the pack. But the key difference is because Juventus are playing at home, and I don't think I could be very wrong, but I don't think they've lost a game a home game this season, I believe. And I think it might continue again tomorrow, but certainly Inter will put up a good fight and maybe threaten Juventus throughout the whole of 90 minutes. But I don't know, because Inter in the big games this season, as far as I can remember, they haven't particularly won in a convincing fashion. I mean, they lost to Lazio. If I can remember, they drew to Atalanta maybe, and lost to Juventus at home as well. So I think
that was the key loss, bro.
Yeah, so Juventus being at home and having them in a position where they have to chase the title now, with Lazio being on top of the table, I think that will help. That will benefit Juventus, and I believe Juventus are taking all 3 points tomorrow.
Okay, so you think the greatest sense of urgency will spoil Juve on, and you still believe Juve will defend their title?
Yes, I think they will, but they will scrape by. It might even go down to the final match day of the season, because Lazio are putting up a good fight for this title, and they don't look like backing out.
Okay, Natsa.
Yeah, I think this game will be very boring because mainly because it's been playing indoors, and then it will play in the favor of Lazio. I'll say it will be a draw. I feel like it won't be that intense. It will be two teams that are trying to figure each other out, but I don't think there will be any goals in this game, especially because Conte will probably go for a defensive team. And then you already know what happened with Juventus. They can't even attack to save their life. I don't know where the goals are going to come from. for Juventus especially. But I'm thinking I'm gonna go for a draw, maybe 1-1 or 0-0. I think it'll be quite boring, to be honest.
All right, Momo.
You see, the thing is with these games behind closed doors is I don't know who it affects more because naturally the sense of urgency is not going to be there because it's going to feel like a training game. So it's how can you keep your concentrations level up? How can you keep your edge? Because when the crowd's not there, when the atmosphere's not there, you can just get very much into a rhythm of it's just like a training match. I
remember the last behind closed game that I saw was England Croatia qualifier, and they still played it competitively. It was weird, but it was a important qualifier game. So and they were still boom. I think it's weird, but I think guys will, because they know what the occasion is, they'll just hold in. Really? It's just that you just don't have the atmosphere. So,
but I feel like it helps certain teams more than others. Like especially like you remember that Lazio Inter game? I feel like Lazio were really boosted up by their home support.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's huge.
If Lazio's home support wasn't there, that was behind closed doors. I think Inter wins that. I think if that that home crowd wasn't cheering them on, giving them that boost, I feel like that gives them the certain edge to keep going and keep going. When that's not there, it can just feel like you're getting into a rhythm and you're just passing the ball sideways and back. And it just feels like a training session, and there's no real like tempo or urgency, and it's hard to get into that mode if you're not from it in the start. And so that's why it's a tough game to call, because it's just more about who gets that sense of urgency more. What team can stay more focused, because that's going to be the hardest part. I don't think it's going to be about tactics or anything like that. It's going to be who's going to be switched on more, who's focused more, who's not going to slip up, who's going to realize.
So who do you give the win to?
This is the tough part. I feel like Conte's the manager to get his. Sarri, I don't think has got the same sort of nous or the man management skills that Conte has to get his players G'd up and fired and honed in like Conte does, because I've seen it with Conte at Chelsea, at Juve previously, with Italy. He can get his men playing for him, not for the crowd, for him. And I feel that they'll do that. So I think they can either at least get a draw, if not the win.
All right. Erhan.
Yeah, to be honest, this game, I think the complexion has changed definitely now that it's being played behind closed doors. But ultimately, I do still feel that Juve will edge it, because this is a make or break for Inter, I believe, because they realize that if they don't win this, it's over. That there's no chance they're catching up to Lazio or Juventus. And even if they do win it, they still have a long way to go in terms of maintaining the pace throughout the whole season. So all the pressure is on them, which they wouldn't have wanted in this kind of stage of the season, because judging by the history of the Serie A, Juve have they've coasted through for so many years. So they would rather have put them in an uncomfortable position where Juve will be like, okay, so we have to actually win this time. Like, there's no more screwing around. These guys will actually beat us to the title if we don't. But no, the Juve are still like relatively comfortable, even though they do have Lazio as the challengers. They still have that that like superior outlook over Inter. So I don't really see how Inter can get past them. I feel like Conte will literally have to do what Simeone did against Liverpool in that first leg if he wants to actually stand a chance in this game, because I feel like Cristiano will probably turn up, which he does in these kind of massive games, and yeah, it's just going to have to be a very strong, like, perfect performance, which I can't really see happening.
So what's scoreline then?
I'm going to say I think it'll be a boring game because it's behind closed doors, so I'll say like 1-0 Juve.
Can I say something about the game?
Real Madrid would win La Liga if they played behind closed doors. You're probably right, because I think Real Madrid sort of always break up when they play against their fans. I think their fans really hamper them. And also Madrid always play better away from home. So yeah, I mean, if you just scrap the Bernabeu fans and everything and just treat Bernabeu like a neutral venue, most likely. I mean, it's so weird there, the record there. Nippon, Juve Inter, score.
This game has El Clasico written all over it. I mean, we thought that Barcelona were going to win that game, but Madrid did. I think it's going to be the same for this, that everyone thinks that Juve will win this. but then Inter spoil it for them.
What scoreline are you going to roll with, Mr. Sharma?
No teams to keep a clean sheet. 2-1. 2-1 Inter.
Wow. Okay. Mohammed, score.
Yeah, man, I think the fact that there are no fans, that's like a big thing. But I do think Inter tactically are better, to be honest. Like Sarri's tactics, I don't like them. Juve are in a bad moment right now.
You beat them in the first fixture though, so
yeah, I know, but like I think a lot has changed since then. Like I feel like Juve are in a bad moment right now, and I don't know. I just feel like someone was saying earlier that all the pressure is on Inter. I think there's a lot of pressure on Juve too, because now we all expect them to win Serie A every year because of their domination. They're not coasting this season like they usually are. They are facing like challenges from Lazio and Inter, and that puts a lot of pressure on them. They need this win. They need to win the title again because, let's be honest, they're not good enough to win the Champions League, I think. So it's all riding on this league title this season. If they don't win it, that's even worse than they've been doing recently, because usually they win the league every year. This season, if they don't win the Champions League and they don't win the league, it's a complete disaster. So they need to win this. And Inter want to win it too, because obviously they want to win the title, but I don't think too many people were like expecting Inter to win the title before the season started. So I feel like there's more pressure on Juve. They don't have the fans. Like the only advantage they have is that they don't have to travel for the game. Inter Milan have to travel in, and that doesn't make that much of a difference, to be honest. So
yeah, and also, I mean, Juve know the pitch a lot better than Inter.
That is true. That is true. But I mean, like, I don't think that makes that much of a difference, to be honest. I feel like Inter take this one 2-1.
Okay. All right. So let's just. All I want is a scoreline for this. So Manchester derby tomorrow. All I want is a scoreline. I am rolling with City 2, United 1. Red Devil. Scoreline.
Just a scoreline. Don't talk about it. Oh, scoreline. The optimist in me says 2-1 to Manchester United, with Agallo and Fernandes to score. The pessimist in me says probably a draw, with Fernandes to score and possibly like a Jesus or something. But I'm going to go with my optimism. So 2-1 to Manchester United with Agallo and Bruno Fernandes to score.
Okay. Natsa, score.
4-1 Manchester City.
That's what I was going to say. That's 4-1. I was going to say that.
Red Devil. Are you going to allow him just to say that?
We usually
what's the basis for it?
No,
We've
we
not
usually
beat them for like 5 years.
We always beat them at home. Always. It's like our home ground.
You mean at Old Trafford? You mean? Is it
Yeah.
The last game in the FA Cup, we scored 3 goals in the first half.
Should have been 6.
It should have been 6. Let that sink in.
Yeah, that's true. But like we know, I know why that happened, and that was because basically Matic wasn't. Well, Solskjaer got his tactics wrong in that first half, and Matic wasn't playing where he should have been playing. Because as soon as he basically came on, like you didn't have that control anyway. So I think that this is a different. We can't compare this United side to the times that City played in the last 2 seasons, and obviously bearing in mind that our brick Manchester sides have beaten City twice already this season.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, but this is a Manchester United side that like is different, you know. So obviously with Fernandes,
yeah, we have improved too. We have improved too. Since that game, we have improved.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be like a battering. Is the point I'm trying to make? It's. I think I would be very surprised if United lost this game by more than 3 goals. I hope I held that plan. If they do, fair enough. But given the way that we're playing, the momentum that we're in, we're undefeated since Bruno Fernandes basically signed for Manchester United. At the
Who
very
have you played?
Sorry,
who have you played?
You played Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen.
Whoa! Wait! Why are you laughing?
Listen. To be fair to Chelsea, they've got like 8 first team members out on injured and stuff. So they've got a whole injury crisis going on at Chelsea.
Man, what the heck?
So I understand.
You're talking to the 2012 CL winners, man. So have to show some respect, man.
But listen, all I'm saying is I want to see Bruno. I want to see what he does tomorrow. I want to see all this hype is justified, because
in a big game,
exactly. He needs to show up in a big game because listen, Man City went out there, done the business against Real Madrid. Man United have been losing to Burnley and whoever at home. So, you can't compare the two sides. It should be. I'm going for 4-1 Manchester City. I expect Pep to deliver these guys. I expect Ole to be exposed for the fraud he is. Arteta already done him. I want to get them in the FA Cup so he can show him up again.
You're saying,
yeah.
you're saying all these things.
Jeez, man, tell me how you really feel, man. God damn.
Before January, though. Like, this is
I
obviously.
actually wait, bro.
Listen, Bruno could come to the Emirates and we'll still bat him up. We'll still bat you guys up.
Yeah, I actually rate Bruno Fernandes. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The guys are. All right. So, Julian, score for this game.
2-1 United.
2-1 United.
God.
All right. Mohammed, score.
3-2 City.
Woo. Nippon, score.
3-3.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Erhan, round us off.
2-2 United, because they'll probably celebrate a draw like a win. So that's why I said 2-2 United.
Very funny, Ahan. Very funny.
All right. Let's deal with this thing right now, man. Let's deal with this thing right now. All right. Look, my CL previews are going to be dropping soon, man. They'll be dropping real soon, man. Don't worry. This is where it gets big. This is where it gets big. All right, guys. I can't wait for Wednesday. I cannot wait for Wednesday. Colchoneros, we know where you are, bro, and I know where you are. I can't wait for Wednesday. But let's talk Tuesday first. We'd like to build things up. Because Uncle Mo is my idol, I would love it if somehow Uncle Mo said.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Can I land? Can I finish? Thank you. I would love it based on the insults, the abuse, the disrespect, the absolute total insult that this guy has received from haters is crazy. But I'm going to put it out there. Let me start with Erhan. Do you believe in Tottenham overturning the 1-0 deficit in Germany? Leipzig drew today against Werder Bremen, I believe so. They are falling out of form. Timo Werner, I don't know whether the guy's scoring. So do you believe in a miracle on Tuesday?
Simple answer. No way in hell. We are not getting past Leipzig. That is not happening. We're probably going to get, like lubricated or even maybe like circumcised at this rate because genuinely, shut up. But genuinely, like I cannot see what Mourinho is going to do.
Okay, but let me get this. So you don't think I don't know whether Mourinho does this. You know what? Screw it. Let's go out, attack these guys, and let us just unleash Lucas Moura on these guys and just try and try and just go attack, and use Lucas Moura's quickness to try and get in behind and just try and just use his speed to expose Leipzig's young defense. You don't think somehow Moura can pull off something special?
I don't think Mourinho knows what the word attack means. That's the problem.
Exactly.
I've never seen him attack in my life. The whole time we've been defensive.
Chelsea first.
We let Burnley have more possession than us today. Like that is the levels we're talking. This guy does not know how to control the flow of a game. Leipzig are going to tear us a new bumhole and literally just run off of the park. He's gonna try and park the bus, obviously, and then he's gonna get exposed. Werner's probably gonna destroy Alderweireld and Vertonghen. Those two guys may as well already retire with the way they're going this season, man. It's a joke. Yeah, Aurier is gonna be caught out 100 times. Probably gonna get sent off. Sanchez is gonna do some stupid give away some stupid penalty. The midfielder is going to be completely lost. Eric Dyer, he's a better flipping boxer at this rate than the actual striker. You see the way he swung for
Erhan, have hope, man. You're so pessimistic. Have some hope, bro.
When you're a Tottenham fan for 18 years, you can't have hope. You can't have hope. I've seen my team languish in the relegation zone, and only Harry Redknapp was able to save us. And even then, we finished 12th. That's the levels we're talking in terms of Tottenham. We haven't won a trophy since 2008. 12 years. This is what being a Tottenham fan is like. As much as I hate to say it because there's deluded Arsenal fan in this hangout. It is what it is, and I have to put up with it. We're just a crap club, man. We've been overachieving for the last few years anyway. The fact that we've been in the Champions League for so long is a miracle, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, But yeah, I think things are just leveling out.
So I'm gonna look. Guys. as much as I want a miracle, I think not Tottenham are not getting. I think Leipzig are already in the quarters. So I mean, does anybody see a miracle, or that Leipzig game is a done
No
deal?
way.
The only miracle I see here is them not getting circumcised. That's what's looking like in the cards. Anything less, I'm disappointed with this. Like, you got to remember, Leipzig didn't even have any of their first 3 choice defenders when they faced them at their stadium. So they didn't even have any of their first team defenders available.
Yeah,
and
I don't think Upamecano wasn't playing. Yeah,
Upamecano was Ibrahim Konate wasn't playing. What's the other guy? There was another Orban wasn't playing. So they had none of their first team defenders, and they still should have lubricated them at their crappy new stadium. So these guys, there is over for them. Over for them. They're going to be back to where they go.
Tottenham most likely will get walked, and I don't. They have like a 0% chance of going through. But you know what? If Uncle Mu can do something, I would be proud of him. But yeah, you know what? Nah, it's not happening.
I mean, the only thing is, if there's a possibility, is that I think Timo Werner is potentially a doubt for the game. That's the only thing that maybe might give some favor to Spurs. Not completely, but it looks like he's probably not going to start. He's got some muscle problems or something, so he'll probably come from the bench at best. So that might be something for Spurs to hold on to, but that's about it.
So I've got a question for Erhan. Would you sell Harry Kane in the summer to get some funds in for Jose to spend in the squad if you don't make Champions League?
Yeah, 100%, definitely. I think Kane is a bit of a liability. I think like the fact that we depend on him so much is a bit of a joke. And I'd rather invest in the rest of the team, especially the defense, than have to keep him.
Well, how much do you think he's worth in the market?
I would say we could sell him for anything between 120 to 150 million. If
no, in this market, yes.
He's right. He's right.
If João Felix,
go for 120, and Greece chick can go for over 100.
All I'm saying is João Felix,
120.
19-year-old Benfica, 120 million. If Kane does not go for anything equal to that amount or more,
you can do him in today's market for one. It doesn't mean that he's worth that, but in today's market, 120 you can.
And do you know who needs him the most? Real Madrid. Real Madrid need him.
No, he won't fit in around.
Why? What? Benzema's a bomb.
Benzema's a bum. Sorry, I hate to say it. Dude's trash. It's a bum.
Okay, wait. So let's since we're now past Uncle Mu now. This is a quick fire thing. Who goes through? Atalanta or Valencia? Let's start with Natsa. Who goes through? Atalanta or Valencia?
Anything in Atalanta going through, this might be the biggest miracle of any miracle that the Champions League has witnessed. Because I don't know.
Oh, Natsa! I don't know how old you are, but in 2004, I believe AC Milan won 5-1 against Deportivo, and Deportivo came back to beat them, I believe, 4-0 in the second.
I'm not that old. I was 3 years old when that happened.
Okay. But basically, I think that's what I think for some people when they say, "Oh my God, this would be a shock," but I say, look, because I remember that Deportivo. I'm sure there must have been another one, but that one was clear in Milan against Deportivo. I remember that where people thought, "No, it's over 5-1," and that's AC Milan. Deportivo came back
against PSG.
Well, who did Deportivo have in attack? Because I'm seeing Valencia, they have no one except for Rodrigo. Who else?
Was it Maxi?
Oh, I believe he's injured. I believe he is injured, so they're lucky. I believe that loser is injured, bro.
I thought he's a scholar, Haffert.
No. Yeah, like he's not. He's class A. Well,
also the Valencia game
dude is trash. Dude misses open goals. Like that's his MO. He was born like he came into this world to miss open goals. The doctor said, "Look, hey mom, cut the umbilical cord. I present to you Maxi Gomez, Brecaricious who misses open goals. Dude is trash." Let me get a super chat from Yasser side. How unlucky? Thank you, Yasser, for the super chat, dear sir. Thank you for the support. How unlucky is Jose? He always has to rebuild every squad he manages. Couldn't he just get a ready to compete team for goodness sake?
PSG.
Yasser, as I said already, the PSG are a bunch of morons. If PSG got Mourinho, PSG are a genuine threat. Tuchel is a choir boy. Tuchel is pussy. I know. Sorry, hashtag me too. I don't give a damn. Tuchel is pussy. He's the guy doesn't have any balls. You need someone with his huge balls to come to PSG. Julian, who goes through Atalanta or Valencia?
Did you see what Atalanta did to Lecce?
Oh God.
That was the same team.
Yeah,
that,
7-2. They got that
and
ass.
I'll tell
They got that ass,
and
yeah.
I'll tell you. And sure, you might be telling me Lecce isn't Valencia. Lecce drew with Juventus. Lecce beat Napoli at their own ground. Lecce drew to Inter.
But didn't Lecce have a red card?
What
They
in
had a red card.
the
Bro, I
7
don't
to
think
1?
they did, bro. I
I'm pretty sure
think
they had a red card.
Atalanta got that ass, man. I think they got that ass.
But
11, yeah, I think they got
they've
11v11. They got that ass, man.
Yeah, if they can replicate their goal scoring form in Serie A, and in the Champions League, which we've already seen in the first leg, they're scoring at least 2 in the Mestalla. Let's be real, man. So I believe Atalanta will go through.
Exactly.
Okay. Momo, who goes through? Momo, who goes through?
Okay,
Mike. Mike.
Sorry. I think it should no, definitely Atalanta. They don't even have the crowd, do they? At Mestalla, isn't it behind closed doors?
Yes, behind closed doors.
Yeah, behind closed doors. Yeah.
Behind closed doors.
Damn. So look, they don't even have the crowd. You know, they're already 4-1 down. Yeah, I don't see. And then they've got trash players like Gabriel and Coquelin still got to. Yeah, these guys aren't doing nothing.
Momo,
sorry.
don't hate, bro. Those are your.
Yeah, these are 5-1. I still
don't
10-2.
hate.
I still remember that because the trash players like them. But yeah, Atalanta is going to do the job.
Okay. Red Devil Studio, man. Who goes through?
Yeah, it goes back to the closed door situation again. You know, you could argue maybe that the crowd could have rallied them to push on if they got an early goal, for example. But without any crowd, to be honest, I just can't see Valencia going back in this game. More importantly, I can't see them shutting out quite a potent Atalanta side that just love to score goals and love to attack and could potentially be a dark horse for the Champions League. You know, you don't know what's going to happen really, you know. So, just as a side, you know, Valencia and Atalanta, both those teams would easily banter Arsenal FC. I'll just leave that there. That's my 2 cents.
Momo, don't respond. You don't have to return. Don't take the bait.
What did we do to you in January? Calm down.
Don't take the bait. My God.
Where are you in the table, man? Anyway.
Erhan, who goes through Atalanta Valencia? For me, I think Valencia can turn this around, bro. But that's just me. Erhan, who goes through?
No way. I don't see Valencia doing anything of that sort. Like I said, I back Atalanta to make the semis. Like as crazy as it sounds, these guys are serious. They're serious, man. Look at what they're doing in Serie A. They're scoring 7 goals every week for fun. They're not a joke, man. Like they're one of the best attacks in the world right now. And with the 3-goal advantage, and especially now that they're playing behind closed doors, how the hell are you going to score 3 goals a minimum against Atalanta when you have strikers like Max Gomez, Gonzalo Guedes, and then you have a midfielder of Francis Coquelin and a defense of Gabriel Paulista, 2 Arsenal bricks. So obviously, like they have absolutely no chance. Yeah, Ilicic, you know, Zapata, these guys are going to absolutely destroy their careers. Papa Gomez, semis minimum, man. Atalanta.
All right. Mohammed.
Man, I think we've seen crazier things happen, but I don't see it happening to us. I think Valencia will be up like 3-0, and then Atlanta get like a last-minute goal or something, and I think Valencia will win the game, but they won't go through. And like, I don't get the hate towards all the Valencia players, to be honest. They do good. Like Gabriel and Coquelin, they were bad for Arsenal, but they're good for Valencia. I feel like people judge them based on like their past, not their current time. So I feel like
Eden Hazard turned Coquelin into a ballerina. Did you see what he done to him? He made him spin 720.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that was a long time ago. It's not now. You're not judging them based on what they're doing with Valencia. You're judging them based on what they did with Arsenal.
Okay. So you're saying Atalanta to go through, but Valencia win the game.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Nippon, what happens?
Atalanta. I just don't see a way back for Valencia.
Okay.
No.
Look,
Atalanta.
basically for me, I think Valencia are going to turn it around. But sorry, finish off. Nippon, finish off.
Yeah, Atalanta. I see them as this year's Ajax.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I see them going through.
Okay.
I think Atalanta will win the game, but I think Valencia will score.
Okay. Wow. All right. Let me hit the super chat. Yes, side. Thank you very much for the super chat, dear sir. He says, let's be real. Unai had a bigger impact in football than Tuchel. What has Tuchel done in football? Did he even try to compete against Bayern? No, Tuchel is just a very good coach, but no, he hasn't completed anything. That's why PSG are a bunch of flipping morons. Because you hired a guy who has not done anything, who has zero authority to manage huge, massive egos. Do you know why Real Madrid were so successful? Because it's flipping Zidane. Because everybody, every single person and their mother respects Zidane. No one respects Tuchel. That's the biggest
Did you see what Mbappe did to him on the touchline a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I saw.
The disrespect.
And what's Tuchel going to do about it? He ain't going to do nothing about it. He's not going to do anything. PSG are those guys are clowns, man. So let's not be real. Let's not be real. Wednesday is the real cooker, right? No offense to people on Tuesday, but again, good luck to Atalanta and Valencia. Uncle Mo, you're gonna get knocked out. I'm sorry about that. Atletico against Liverpool. Many people believe that Atletico have given people a blueprint, and ever since that Atletico game, Liverpool have sort of looked vulnerable. That beat down, 0 shots on targets was the one in which they really gave that huge big beat down on them. Bro, guys, I don't really know. I'm going to say this. I believe Liverpool are going to go through. And I don't know whether it's going to be 2-0 or 3-1.
Have hope. That's the easy answer. Come
easy.
on.
Let me land. Atletico are not scoring more than 1G. 1G max.
Just Morata scored today. He's getting ready.
Because the key thing here is this: is that Atletico will lose the game, but in Atletico's mind, they're saying that as long as we lose by a 1-goal deficit, we go through. So 2-1, 3-2, we go through on away goals. But my thing is that Atletico aren't scoring more than 1 goal at Anfield, 1 goal max. So do I see Liverpool like a 2-1 is a huge positive? Like scoreline, Simeone's team can hope for to go through is 2-1. That's the golden scoreline. They're not scoring 2 goals. It's not happening.
Absolutely agree.
Liverpool know what they have to do. I think Liverpool are going to turn up the screw, ramp up the volume, and say what's up. They're going to try and say what's up. But my thing is that if Liverpool played like they played against Bournemouth on Wednesday, they're going to go through. They may win the game, they won't go through. So I think it's going to be. And also, by the way, it ain't going to be 0-0. Liverpool will score. They're not going to hold them down 0-0. So let me come first here to with Natsa, man. Atletico, Liverpool, man. How do you see this going?
I don't know. What was Robertson rested today, or what happened? Because
he had a slight injury, but they say he'll be fit for Wednesday.
So he won't be fully fit. He'll play, but he won't be fully up to scratch. Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like it will end 1-1. I feel like they'll shithouse a win somehow. Atletico. I have a feeling that Liverpool have a 2017, 2018 Manchester City where they only win the league. No, we actually won a trophy that season. Anyway, I feel like they're gonna have a kind of season where they just win the league and they don't win the Champions League. I don't feel like they're fully motivated after that loss against Watford. Because I saw them against Chelsea and I saw them against Bournemouth. Even they just scraped a win against Bournemouth today. I feel like that clearance by Milner, that was a big one. Because I don't know how the hell he cleared that, but I don't know what's going to happen in this game. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on Liverpool to win that game.
So how do you see this game turning out, Liverpool Atletico?
I feel like Atletico will score first. We'll get a scrappy goal, and then Liverpool have to screw up and try to get back and score two goals. For 3 goals actually, sorry, because they have to score 3 goals if Atletico get the away goal. Yeah, I feel like I don't know what to say, but I feel like it'll be a 1-1 game, and Atletico go through.
Okay, so you're going with 1-1.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big upset. I feel like 1-1.
Okay. Momo.
I say if Atletico can get 1 goal, Simeone can shut it down. I think they don't concede more than 2, as you said. I don't see them conceding more than 2 goals.
But they conceded 3 last season to Juventus.
No, Juventus, that's Ronaldo. Ronaldo is a different beast. They don't have Ronaldo in this team.
Well, Salah squad.
So
Salah scored a lot of goals.
have hope. Don't have hope, please. Don't try and compare Salah to Ronaldo. Ronaldo's a specimen. He's a physical beast. Don't compare Salah to him. Salah misses tappings. Yeah, Ronaldo is a beast. One of the greatest goal scorers of football.
Mhm.
Salah, he's a hype drum. He's an Egyptian icon, like Juju likes to say. He ain't
Easy,
sniffing Ronaldo's-
look, Momo, man, don't allow the Egyptian mafia to be on your ass, bro. So, you said it, bro. Like I ain't seen this, man. I ain't messing with Egypt and the pyramids and those pharaohs. Man.
Okay, all I'm saying is they ain't got Ronaldo in this team, so they're gonna have to work overtime to try and break down the Simeone team. Because believe me, Simeone, he's coming to shut it down. He's coming to stink out the place, and he's looking to do a no shots on target sort of job. If they get one goal up, I don't see them conceding more than 2 goals. So yeah, I'm going for 2-1 Liverpool, and Atleti go through.
All right, Red Devil Studio.
I'll look at this from a different perspective, in that I think a lot of this game will depend on how Simeone actually approaches this. Because I remember, I know everyone talks about obviously Ronaldo, doing the over on Atletico Madrid, but if I remember watching that game correctly, like, to be honest, Simeone set up in them essentially to protect what he had. So like they didn't really, they went away. They just 11 men were just behind the ball the entire game. They didn't seem to play with any sort of desire to even get a goal. They allowed Juventus to have most of the ball, and obviously we know what happened. So for me, logically, so I think that Simeone, at the very least, needs to at least try and go out and get a goal. He needs to do that, much like when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went to PSG, get the one early goal. If he does that, then Liverpool have a lot of problems. But there's a part of me that strongly suspects that Simeone is going to have the mindset of, well, we've got a 1-goal lead. I don't want to interrupt how we're going to play. Let's just put 11 men behind the ball. Let's just protect what we have. Let's just hold on, and just give Liverpool the ball. For me, that would be the worst thing that Simeone could do regarding Liverpool at Anfield in particular, and giving Liverpool the possession, because sooner or later they're going to score at Anfield. They will score at Anfield. So Liverpool winning this game for me will depend on how Simeone sets up tactically, whether he decides to go out and actually try and get something from this Liverpool team. But my suspicion that he's not going to do that. He's going to go defense. He's going to go protective. Liverpool, much like they did away at Atletico Madrid, they're going to have most of the ball this entire game. Atletico aren't going to dominate possession or anything like that. And it'd be a question if they can do things with it. And I think you have to give it to Liverpool just because it's Anfield. And no matter what you say, Liverpool have not lost at Anfield for goodness knows how long, since 2017. So they will, and they know what they have to do. They only need a goal to at least put it through to extra time, need 2 and keep Atletico Madrid out. So yeah, I would give it to Liverpool. Probably 3-1. I'd say 3-1 to Liverpool, yeah.
Super chat here from Yes' side says Simeone is the greatest manager to not win it. Obviously means the Champions League. Perhaps yes, but Simeone only has himself to blame, because they should have won it in 2014. It was right there. They should have. 2016 was not the time, but they should have won it in 2014. And I think when they didn't win it then, that was their best chance of winning it. That was their best chance, and they blew it, unfortunately. Erhan, Atletico Liverpool, talk to me.
I'm not going to make the same mistake and write off Atletico right from the get-go like last time, because obviously Simeone proved me and a lot of other people wrong. So it's not like a foregone conclusion. I would say that Atletico do definitely have a chance. But the key thing is obviously don't concede in the first 10 minutes, because you see what happens then. Like last season at Anfield, Origi got that goal in I think it was the 7th minute, and that gives the crowd an instant an energy, something to cling on to, where they're like, okay, so we have a chance here. And especially because the deficit is only 1 goal in this case. If they get 1 goal, they're already level. So it's going to be it's a bit like a chess match. It's going to be very mentality driven. It's about when certain moments in the game, in terms of when they score, or like when big chances happen, or if any like fouls or sendings off happen, like these big things are going to make a huge difference in the game. So I do feel like Atletico will be very stubborn defensively. They definitely won't be conceding 4 goals, but I feel like a consistent thing with Liverpool this season is that they do just about enough to get the job done. Like they don't really like amaze people with like like spectacular results, like just like 4-goal, 5-goal victories all the time. They do tend to like get like those 2-1, like 3-1 victories, like where it's just like they just grind it out. So I expect a similar thing in this game. So I'm going for like a 2-0 Liverpool win. So I don't think it'll be anything like fancy, but I feel like the front three will turn up. They'll have 2 key chances and they'll put them away. And Atletico, they'll probably be stubborn defensively, but I feel like they'll give it late in the first half, and then in the second half it'll just be an easy
right. We just see the super from yesterday again. It says, "Don't blame Simeone for the clutchness of Ramos." True. I says no. I don't. I think it's true. You can't blame Simeone for that, because again, how do you attain for that as a manager? You did the best that you could, but it's one of those things of where they have to kill the game off, and it's even similar to what we're talking about right now. Atletico, the biggest failure that Atletico would take is to go in and try to defend that lead. You have to go out and score, because the best way for Atletico going through is that they have to go out and score. And I think the days of resting on your 1-0 laurels are probably gone. This is a very much attacking offensive era, and it's about you have to try and outscore your opponents and defend only when you need to. Julian, let's go Liverpool. How do you see it going?
I'm surprised nobody has talked about this so far, but can you really trust Adrian in a knockout stage game?
Yeah, okay.
Because Alisson is out, and yes, Atletico will put 11 men behind the ball, but at certain points of the game, they will counterattack against Liverpool. And can you trust Adrian to keep away those chances from becoming a goal? For me, I don't see that happening. So based on that, I will say Liverpool will win, but they'll get knocked out because they're winning 2-1.
Okay.
Is Morata starting, by the way? If Morata's starting, that probably makes a difference, doesn't it?
True.
Morata.
All right, Mohammed, score.
2-0 Liverpool.
Also, don't think Atletico will even score.
No way.
Okay. Nippon, score.
I'd like. If Simeone uses the same tactics he did at the Wanda Metropolitana at Anfield, he's going to get exposed. I think it's going to be Liverpool that go through. I think, 2-0 Liverpool.
Okay. HH.
Who scores for Liverpool?
I'd probably Salah, Mane.
Okay.
Maybe Origi.
Okay. So and you're saying 2-0 Liverpool.
I think they can manage without Alisson. They still have Virgil van Dijk, and I think Henderson will be back by that time as well.
Okay, all right.
So 2-0 Liverpool.
So let's now roll for what many people consider might be the big one. Now, let me just say this right now. I double scratch that. I triple scratch that. I quadruple scratch that. I quintuple scratch that. I sextuple scratch. I tentuple Paris Saint-Germain to get knocked out by the youthful zest of Dortmund in their own house. Now, PSG will be without Verratti, and Thiago Silva is a doubt. But I expect Neymar to be in that pitch. I expect Mbappe to be in that pitch. So I don't know what's going to go down, but guys, I'm telling this right now, Dortmund believe that they can knock them out. That's why Sancho was rested for today's game, and he actually came off the bench because I believe Favre and this team believe that, you know what, we can beat these guys because these guys play in a manner that perfectly suits us. Yes, they've got quality players, but they're coached by a guy who is just a philosophy merchant. So Dortmund just know that if we can just defend well, once the chances fall to us, we can get these guys. And for PSG, this is what it's about. No one cares about Uber Eats. You will be judged by whether you win the Champions League, not by if you get to the semi or final, is if you win the Champions League. So, Julian, are you confident of knocking out PSG?
Before I make my prediction, I'm just here to say that the PSG Dortmund game could be at risk as well, thanks to the coronavirus. And it could be played behind closed doors. And if we play behind closed doors, we're getting knocked out. Because remember, the last time we were against a French side, and there was like a tragedy.
Oh yeah. Without Spanish,
we weren't at the right frame of mind and had no confidence. And if we were to play this game behind closed doors, the same thing would happen. But in normal conditions, I believe that because we've stabilized defensively, I think we can get something. I mean, we have a chance. Surely we have. So with us perhaps replicating that defensive performance in the first leg, I think we can get a draw at Paris. I think we can. So I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. It's not going to be an entertaining game for sure.
Okay. So you're going with 1-1.
Yes, I'm going with 1-1, although I wouldn't be surprised if we also drew 0-0.
Okay. All right. Wow. Red Devil Studio, how do you see this going, man? Dortmund PSG.
Just as a quick thing, I've just gone to the PSG website. They posted this on Friday saying that the game would be played under normal conditions. That was this Friday gone. Obviously, things can change, but
things can change.
But anyway, I think you've got to get a wing prepared, man. You've got to start building. You've got to start building now. You really got to start building because
for Dortmund.
No, for PSG, man. For PSG, you know. So I.
Oh, so Red Devil, so you really think that these losers are actually going to get that they'll actually deliver and actually get knocked out again?
I mean, did people forget? Have people already forgotten United last year? I know people say, but this is the thing. People can use excuses. But this. But that. But this is still a PSG side that has quality in their team. That's quality players that should be beating the likes of United. And I would argue.
Come on, listen, Red Devil. They had an 80-year-old grandpa in their goal.
An 80. We had test tube babies on the field, like Garner and Greenwood or something like that. Come on, you know. Team Chong. You know, like come on, you know. So like, with no game experience, you know. So and Dortmund are a much stronger side than that Manchester United side that beat PSG, you know. So last time, so you know the thing for me with PSG is not so much that it's the mentality, it's the mentality of the players. Like it's clearly obvious to me from the outside that Thomas Tuchel, as Tater just said, doesn't have the authority in the dressing room really, you know. So he seems to be much of a pushover. The players, Mbappe, seem to just do whatever they want, not really interested, only really turn up when they want to turn up. And if PSG, for example, were to go down, I just can't see them having that mentality to really say, right, come on, guys, let's get together, let's stick together, let's just come on and try and fight through. You know, they're relying on individual talent from an Mbappe, from a Neymar. But if that doesn't happen, then nothing happens. And obviously with Verratti, who's obviously a solid midfielder being out, Thiago still being a doubt. You know, I think I'd be very concerned if I was PSG right now, because it's clear to see that Dortmund have the players that can harm PSG. PSG are not a defensive, you know, like a Simeone or something where they're like, right, okay, let's sort of hold on to the ball, let's be defensive. No, they will give Dortmund a lot of space to run into. And we've seen, especially in that Dortmund game, the pace that Dortmund have to hit PSG on the counter-attack. I'm sorry. As I said at the beginning, HH, you need to start building. Start building quickly, because PSG are being inducted this season.
Jesus. Not
Yeah, there's one thing that actually caught my mind after that game where after they lost that game against Dortmund, Neymar went to the media and said, I was against that they rested me for the League On games for me to play the Champions League. I'm against that. That showed me all the power that Neymar has against that he can go against a club and say that. I just don't know what's wrong with PSG. They should just renew the model of how they sign players, because it's absolutely bonkers to pay 400 million for 2 players, and then the rest of the players that you have are average. To have Bernat, a reject from Bayern, that's injured, that you're waiting for him to come back, so you have to play Kazawa instead. The fact of that happening is embarrassing, and I don't know what to say about PSG. I think people compare us to PSG, but the way that we go about things is totally different to PSG. PSG are just crazy owners that just want instant success rather than just keeping it graduous instead of just I don't know what they're doing, to be honest. But I feel like you're gonna have to build a wing like United Studio said, Red Devil Studio said. You're gonna have to build that wing because they're not beating Dortmund. No way. That's all I've got to say, to be honest.
Oh, so okay, so you're saying that PSG are going to get knocked out?
Yeah, Mbappe. I have to review Mbappe as well, because Mbappe, the last 2 seasons, what has he done in Champions League? Like, what has he done?
Okay.
Except of winning a World Cup, he hasn't done nothing for me. Yeah, I'm just saying that.
All right, Nippon.
Yeah, Dortmund to go through. I think PSG will do what they usually do and get knocked out. They're round of 16 merchants. They're the Mexico of the Champions League.
Damn.
Mexico always get knocked out in the round of 16 of the World Cup.
Yeah, well,
I do not see them beating Dortmund.
But it's that's a very deep insult for a PSG team that have spent so much cash. So
look,
I thought you were going to say Arsenal. I'm just thinking.
If you can't get past a team with Scott McTominay and Fred, then what do you expect if you have Marco Reus, Jadon Sancho, and
Erling Haaland.
Hazard Jr.?
No, say it. Have hope. Why?
All right, no, because that's okay.
It would take a miracle. It would take a miracle for this PSG team to get past.
Okay. So from SSI, let me hit the super chat. So he says, HH, Wednesday is a holiday, annual holiday, PSG knockout day. I find it quite scary and frightening, the amount of people who really believe PSG are going to get. Do you know how embarrassing that is? A team with so much talent and people are saying with their chest that they're going to get knocked out. Just shows you how powerful that miracle at Camp Nou and that shakedown in Paris was.
Have hope.
Yeah.
Have hope. Can I change my prediction?
Yes.
I am not going to give it a score. I'm just going to see what happens on the day. Because I don't want to look. No, I can't give a score.
No. Give a score. No. Everybody has to give a score. What's your score line?
1-1. I'm going to play it safe.
Okay. All right. So if you're wrong, you'll be exposed. Mohammed, scoreline.
Exposed meaning will I be banned from your hangouts?
We'll see. We'll see. But if the scoreline is wrong, I'm gonna be very angry with you specifically. So you have to be very careful. So if that scoreline ends right, there will be serious consequences.
He's going to tell you.
You won't ban me from your hangouts, will you?
Nippon, all I'm saying is that if the scoreline you give, which is 1-1, isn't right, there are going to be very serious, angry consequences, and it's something that I think you should be very fearful of. Mohammed,
you see, that's why I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
No. Nippon, you already gave a scoreline, so if your scoreline is wrong, all I'm saying is that there will be serious, dark consequences. Oh, that's what I'm saying. So so 1-1 is locked in, and I'm going to save it fully. So I'm going to keep playing it in my head. Nippon 1-1, Nippon 1-1, Nippon 1-1. So it is locked in my head. Mohammed, give me a score.
I'm scared.
Okay, I think the
I'm
season
scared that I want to. I'm scared I might not be allowed in the next hangout though.
Mohammed, give you a scoreline. Mohammed, give you a scoreline.
Okay, I think it's something different about PSG this season, man. First of all, in the previous seasons, everyone was like, okay, PSG, this is their time, this is their time. This season, no one is predicting for them to win. Everyone's counting them out. So I think that takes the pressure off their back. And also something else is they finally made the right signings. They signed a good goalkeeper who can make a save to save his life. You know what I'm saying? It's not Buffon or no one like that. They have a good goalkeeper. They have Gay, who I think is one of the most underrated midfielders right now. And, you know, you have Icardi and Mbappe and Neymar, which no one can down that talent. So, PSG 3-1.
3-1.
So, hey, Chase, how do I become a member?
Will get the job done.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I'll tell you afterwards. Don't worry, I'll tell you afterwards. So Mohammed, you're saying what scoreline are you saying?
So PSG win it 3-1.
Okay. Erhan, round us off. Scoreline for this game.
Bro, I haven't done a scoreline as well. Yeah, I'll do after.
Yeah, I mean, PSG. What can I say? Bottle job FC. And I'm a Tottenham fan saying that. If you know it's bad when a Tottenham fan is calling your team as bottle jobs, because I'm
very rich coming from a Tottenham fan.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Give me a score. I get so much hate from these bricks, man. But yeah, 2-2, because first of all, I do believe it's going to be a draw, but I don't want to get prosecuted like Newcastle, obviously. So I'm not going to say 1-1 because I actually value my life and my existence.
Yeah.
So
you effed up them, man. But carry on.
He's condemned himself. So yeah, I mean PSG, they have like the biggest mentality block I've ever seen. They just can't seem to, get to the advanced stages in the Champions League, and especially after that first leg display where, they let a 19-year-old, engineered, robotic, human being who's not even like, he looks fake. He scored 2 goals against them. So I mean, these guys, they're not serious, man. Come on, you can have all these good players. It doesn't matter. You have to have your mind set on the on the prize, and they never do. They're just a bunch of mercenaries there for money, and I don't think they'll ever have major European success as a result. So yeah, Dortmund to get a couple goals away from home and do the job.
So you think Dortmund will get the job done?
Well, yeah, I said 2-2, meaning that they'll go through, right? Because they won 2-1.
Okay, no. So basically, look, all I'm saying is this, guys, is that I can't wait for Wednesday. Yeah. I can't wait for Wednesday. Look, Martin, his voice is lovely. Relax, man. Come on, man. Nippon is that dude, bro. But because I remember how I felt. Basically, I remember how I felt after the miracle at Camp Nou, and I remember how I felt after PSG did what they did, losing to Man United. So all I'm saying is that if these clowns really go ahead and hold yet another L, if these guys hold yet another L, I think that the club has to be dissolved. I really think that the club has to be dissolved. So no. You can laugh if you want, but I think the club has to be dissolved and everything. So because that's my thing. But before we go, Nippon. So let me just verify this. So the scoreline you're going with is 1-1. Are you sure?
You see, I don't feel comfortable on giving a score line. That's how unpredictable I find this match.
No, but everybody has given a scoreline, so you need to give a scoreline as well. And if your scoreline is wrong, you get exposed. That's just how this whole thing works. So just tell me, is 1-1 the scoreline you're going with, so I can log it in, write it down, and put it into my special safe database? So if you're wrong, I know who effed up and screwed up by being wrong, but they're giving a scoreline. So are you happy with the 1-1?
Wait a minute, HH, aren't you on trial?
Red Devil, relax. The trial is happening very soon. Relax. Shush. Don't bring that up. I'm still sweating.
HH, I have autism, so it takes me some time to, which is why I find it so uncomfortable giving a score line.
It's fine, man.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Oh, no. Okay. Look, look. I mean, yeah, it's fine. Look, I mean, because I didn't know that you had. autism. So yeah, no, look, it's fine. No, you don't have to
Oh,
stress.
okay. Oh, HH has changed it now. Okay, that's how it
Yeah.
is.
No, look, look. Yeah, no, look. I mean, like,
It's fine. It's fine.
okay, let's just take the super chats and then we'll write. Okay, so Yasir Saeed, and we'll write out of here. So everybody in the Hangout is safe to say whatever they want. HH, did you forget that you are in? Oh God,
You're on trial,
are you on
basically.
trial?
Yeah, man.
Everything
You're on
said
trial.
will be used against you. Yasir Saeed,
It's on
me
trial.
and Red are working on an excellent. We're working on an excellent defense. The defense right now. So we are going to win this trial. Don't worry. Me and Red, we're going to fall through. So, guys, peace out, still true, and I'll see you guys on Sunday, man. Peace out and be real. All right. Peace.
Take care, man. Take